Welcome, students. We are going to discuss the second poem by Robert Frost. The name of the second poem is Fire and Ice. In the previous section, in the previous part, we have discussed about the poet, that is Robert Frost. Introduction we have done. Introduction of Robert Frost we have done. Now we focus on the introduction of the second poem, that is Fire and Ice. So before the beginning of this poem, we will focus on the introduction of this poem. Robert Frost's poem Fire and Ice expresses the profound idea that the world would end in either of two ways, either by ice or fire. So this is the basic idea of this poem, that the world is going to meet its end. What may be the reason the poet is focusing on it? According to the poet, fire and ice are the two basic elements which may cause the destruction of the world. In simple words, we can say fire and ice are the two elements of the destruction of the present world. Both the components are compared with self-destructing human emotions. According to the poet, the fire and ice also reflect the human emotions. What are they? First one is hatred and second one is desire. So here we come to the conclusion that fire symbolizes hatred, ice symbolizes desire. In other words, we can say hatred and desire are the two basic elements which may cause the destruction of the world. The poem very artistically underpins the philosophy that we let our emotions rule us, and if don't control them, they will surely destroy everything around us. This line clearly indicates that we should control our emotions. If we are going to be controlled by our emotions, then it will be very, very dangerous. Poet is of the opinion that we should control our emotions. Otherwise, emotions will become the cause of the destruction of the present world. Similarly, he thinks fire and ice both are just as competent in bringing the world to a catastrophic end. Poet is of the opinion, or the poet opines, that fire and ice are two basic elements which may cause the destruction of the present world. So this is the brief introduction of the poem Fire and Ice. Basic idea of this poem is that the poet believes fire and ice may be the cause of the destruction of the present world. According to him, fire symbolizes hatred, ice symbolizes desire. In other words, we can say desire and hatred are the two basic elements which may cause the destruction of the present world. So, this is the basic idea of the poem. I hope this point is clear to everyone that fire and ice are the two basic elements which may cause the destruction of the present world. And the same idea runs in the whole poem. Now we move towards the first stanza of the present poem, that is Fire and Ice. See, when we focus on the figure that is shown to you, the figure says the end. The end of what? The end of the world. As we have discussed in the introduction part, that fire and ice, or we can say hatred and desire, are the two basic cause of the destruction of the world. See, some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. Here some refers to the opinion of the people, or we can say some refers to the common people, a general people. Some people believe that the world will end in fire. Fire may be the cause of the end of this world. Some say in ice. Some people believe that ice may be the other element. Ice may be the other element which may cause the destruction of the present world. From what I have tasted of desire, here the poet believes that desire is the main cause of the destruction of the present world. He clearly indicates, the poet clearly indicates, the poet clearly indicates, or the poet clearly expresses his idea that desire is the supreme cause of the destruction of the present world. From what I have tasted of desire means the poet has experienced, or we can say the poet has experienced that desire is the root cause of the destruction of the present world. I hold with those who favor fire. The poet says that he also supports those people who believe that fire is the cause of the destruction of the world. So, here in the stanza number 1, the poet emphasizes on fire or desire. He believes that fire or desire is the root cause of the destruction of the world, or this fire or desire is the main cause of the end of the world. Desire, you see, what is the meaning of desire? A strong feeling of wanting to have something or wishing for something to happen. Favor here means approval or support. So, basic idea of the present stanza is that the poet favors that ice and fire both are the basic cause of the destruction of the present world. But he says that he has experienced that desire is the root cause of the destruction of the present world. So, in the figure, you see the world is going to meet its end. And what is its cause? What is its basic cause? That is the desire, or we can say fire. Fire refers to desire. So here you see in the figure, you see the world is burning. The world is burning because of the desire of the human beings. Human beings are the dwellers of the world, and the desire of human beings is very dangerous. What he desires is very dangerous. We should make analysis of our desire. Desire should be controlled. In the introductory part, we have seen that the poet says that we should control our emotions. Emotions should be controlled. If we are going to be controlled by our emotions, then it will be very, very dangerous and risky. So we should control our emotions. That is the advice given by the poet in this poem, that our emotions, our feelings should be controlled, our desire should be controlled. We should always make analysis of our desire. So this is the content of the first stanza. In simple words, we can say some people believe that the world will meet its end because of the fire. Some people believe that the world meet its end because of ice. But poet believes that desire is the root cause of the destruction of the present world. At last, the poet says that he also favors fire and ice. Both are the basic elements of the destruction of present world. Now we move to stanza number 2. Stanza number 2, you see, if it had to perish here means die. If it had to perish twice, it here refers to word. It refers to word. If it had to perish twice, if word had to perish or die twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction, ice is also great and would suffice. Suffice here means sufficient. The poet is of the opinion that if word has to perish, if word has to die twice, the other reason is very powerful, that is hate. To say that for destruction, ice is also great and sufficient. The poet says that ice is also great and ice is also sufficient for the destruction of the present world. As I told you, ice refers to hate or indifferences. Understand? So here in stanza number 2, the poet is of the opinion that ice may be the cause of the destruction of the present world. Ice is also a great cause of the destruction of the present world, and ice is also sufficient to destroy the present world. So in the whole poem, the poet says that fire and ice are the two basic elements which cause the destruction of the present world. He also gives us suggestion that our emotions should be controlled. We should not be governed by our emotions. If emotions control human beings, then it will be very, very dangerous for us. इस पूरी पोएम में हम ये देखते हैं कि पोएट दो बेसिक एलिमेंट की चर्चा करता है और बताता है कि फायर और आइस मुख्य कारण हैं इस संसार के अंत होने के। फायर रिफ़र करता है डिज़ायर को, आइस रिफ़र करता है हैट्रेट को और हेट को। पोएट का मानना है कि आइस भी एक महान कारण है इस संसार का अंत करने में, और आइस भी सफिशिएंट है इस संसार को ख़त्म करने में। आइस रिफ़र करता है हैट्रेट को। So, poet believes that two emotions, desire and hatred, are the cause of the destruction of the world. If we want to save the present world, then there is only one suggestion, that we should control our emotions. That is the way we can save our world. Otherwise, these two elements will destroy the present world. Now we move towards the literary devices used in the poem. First, we see the rhyming scheme, that is ABA, ABC, BCB. That is the rhyme scheme of the present poem Fire and Ice, ABA, ABC, BCB. Second, we will see assonance. This figure of speech is present in the present poem. It is repetition of a vowel sounds in same line. The repetition is at different places in different words. Example, you see O, long sound of O, and in I hold with those who favor fire. You see, who favor fire. So here assonance is present. Third, alliteration is present. We have discussed alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of a consonant sound at the start of two or more closely placed words. Here you see the sound of F in favor fire. In favor fire there is alliteration. Word will, there is a repetition of consonant sound. That's why here there is a alliteration. So we have focused on the rhyming scheme of the poem, that is ABA, ABC, BCB. Assonance is present in the line I hold with those who favor fire. Alliteration is present in favor fire and word will. Now we move to anaphora. Anaphora is the repetition of a word or expression at the start of two or more consecutive lines. When we focus on the first two lines of the poem, we see there is a repetition of the word some say. This word is repeated. In the first line as well as in second line. That's why there is anaphora. Some say is repeated at the start of the line 1 and 2. That's why there is a anaphora. Now next one is personification. Personification is known to everyone. Personification is to give human qualities to inanimate objects. In this poem, fire and ice are capable of destruction. Thus the poet personifies fire and ice by giving them mind and power to destroy anything. Remember, in the second stanza, there is line, ice is also great. Ice is also great and would suffice. suffice I told, that is sufficient. So in the line ice is also great, there is a figure of speech, that is personification. Ice is also great. This line contains the figure of speech, namely personification. So this is all about the present poem, that is Fire and Ice. So in this poem we have focused on certain points. First, the poet focuses on the two basic elements, that is fire and ice. According to him, these two elements are the cause of the destruction of the present world. After that, we see that the poet has used several literary devices in the poem. First literary device is your alliteration, then assonance, then anaphora, then personification. We have also focused on the rhyming scheme of the poem. So that is all which we have discussed in the present poem, that is the fire and ice. Now thank you.